The light heavyweight championship fight between Matthew Saad Muhammad, making his 6th title defense against the number 8 ranked challenger Vonzell Johnson from Columbus, Ohio. Saad Muhammad from Philadelphia.
I'm here with the great Vonzell Johnson, community leader, philanthropist, dedicated family man, boxing champion, amongst other things. Today we're just here to touch on things that's been going on since the pandemic, things that's going on in the boxing world. Mr. Johnson is a trainer. Has a diverse background, and lead us into what you have going on.
Well, since the pandemic, we had opened up the gym back. We're closed now, and then we opened the gym back up for the kids. I was getting bugged all when the pandemic started. Coach, when we opened it back up, coach, when we opened it back up. And what they didn't realize, and what I kept trying to explain to them, was we done our protocol, so we with the city, and so we couldn't. We had to follow that protocol, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I said, just be patient, and I was just praying every day that none of them get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because idle time is the devil's playground.
Absolutely.
So I didn't really want them to fall off into that. But I talked to them regularly.
Yeah.
I talk to them regularly every day. Get some running in, do something, keep yourself busy, but get focused. So then we opened back up for a few days, short hours, but for a few days we opened back up. That lasted about a month or so, and then the pandemic spiked again, and then we had to, close it back down.
Yeah.
But I got a few kids that I let come to my house, and we work out. I let them work out, and it's not quite the same as the gym.
Yeah.
But I let them work out and just keep their minds occupied.
Yeah.
And that's where we are now.
Now, I see you got on red. Everybody's got on red, and it's very interesting because our city is in red. We're bleeding. We're crying right now in the community with the murders and with the just so much tension going on because of this pandemic and poverty and these new bills. I recently heard Sawyer maybe have got torn down. Is there something that you would like to say regarding that to the mayor or to the community right now?
Yes, I would. Some of the things that I had in mind. First of all, what's really, really, really bothering me is, the violence. 2020, just about every day, somebody black, young, got killed. Just about every day. I mean, it wasn't a day in 2020 that I can remember not picking up a newspaper and seeing somebody getting shot, somebody getting killed. Yeah. I said, and the whole year, and we ended up with 174, 75 homicides in 2020.
Record breaker, right?
Which was a record breaker. And the thing that bothers me most, Silk, is we be on the streets, and I see a lot of young people, black and white, on the downtown streets of Columbus, protesting, talking about Black Lives Matter. What bothers me, and Black lives do matter, don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
And not trying to downplay the violence that we get from some bad police officers, because all police officers are not bad police officers. But there's bad police officers that's killing us. But if you just think about it, and I want the people of this city, especially the young females and male people of this city, to just take a moment and think about this. 170 something homicides in the city. Black.
Yeah. And we're not as big as like Chicago or Detroit.
We're not.
We're not that big.
And but we setting records, and the records that we setting is Black lives. Black lives. And what bothers me about that is, I see these people protesting downtown about Black Lives Matter. But, you know, really all lives matter.
Absolutely.
Black lives have to matter to black people. They have to quit killing one another.
You're like it's like an intervention.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That builds character.
And these kids need to know that there's another way. I don't care if you don't stick with this or not. There's another way.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's another way to let your energy off. There's another way to try to do something. You know, you ain't got to be a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't got to. I mean, I know how hard it is.
Yeah.
I say, but you know.
Do you want to talk about the personal loss that you just suffered recently?
Yeah, man. It's gonna break. Yeah, that really broke my heart. But it's just. Just to give you an example, man. I was coming out of Dollar General. It wasn't Dollar General. It was a drive-through. One of those drive-throughs, and I was coming. I heard a bunch of guys come out there talking, and you know, and I said, and they was talking about this and they was talking about that. And I heard one of them say, man, yeah, man, we go down and protest, man. Let's get our protest up. And I said, young man, I said, listen. I said, it was about 4 of them. I said, I hear y'all, and I said, that's a good thing, man, what you're talking about doing, if you're sincere about it. I said, but, you know, I hear you young guys, all these people going downtown and doing this and doing that, and you always screaming a lot, Black Lives Matter. If Black lives really matter to you young people, y'all will be killing each other. I said, y'all killing us. A lot of white people ain't killing us. Y'all killing us. Yes. So if Black lives matter, it got to matter to you. Yes. It's got to matter to all y'all.
Yes, sir.
And one of the little brothers, and I thought this would get smart, I didn't care. One of the little brothers came out and said, OG, I swear I hear you. I said, well, listen, man, spread that to all these little fellas that y'all hanging around with, all your partners, man. Spread that.
No doubt.
If you're really, really concerned about Black Lives Matter, quit taking your lives. Quit taking your own people's lives.
So to the city of Columbus and to the state of Ohio and the Mayor Ginther, you hear Mr. Vonzell Johnson saying he's ready and he's available with any resources he has, whether it's a building, whether it's a shelter house, whether it's some type of programming that he could put together to try to deter what's going on. We hit a record high with murders. We got people unemployed, this COVID, this pandemic. A lot of black people are concerned, a lot of black people feeling left out. And we need our leaders, and this is a leader who's stepping up. So I just want to put that in the ledger. He's offering whatever he's at. We at Little Pearl Douglas. We in the heart of the inner city. The Rosewind, Old Windsor Terrace projects still standing. He's here giving back every day and waiting for things to change around in the world so that he can get back just to that norm of having guys in here and having fights to look forward to and other outlets for some of the things they may be feeling.
People that got killed in 2020, they didn't get killed by bad police officers. They got killed by black people.
Yeah.
So we're killing each other. So we you know, black people becoming their worst enemy, you know? And I don't know what it takes, but I need the mayor, and I know he's been trying, and he's really it's one of the great mayors that we've had in this city.
Yeah.
He's trying his best to get a hold on this. But I want all the leaders, all the black leaders, not just him. We don't want to put all this on the mayor.
No.
I need all the black leaders in this city to come together and come up with some kind of solution to try to curtail this black on black crime, the black on black homicides. We have to stop this. When we have to stop this, we must stop this now.
Yeah.
Because
we're on pace to do it again.
We're on pace to do it again. It's starting out already.
So what would be something that you would take from some of your personal experiences, just growing up in the housing projects, growing up even in Chicago before you come to Columbus? How would you take some of those experiences and turn things around in Columbus if there was some proper backing, or if you had the tools you needed? What tools do you need?
Well, one of the things we need to do is, you know, we need to concentrate. We need to concentrate on activity. You know, if you know, when I was growing up, if I didn't have the rec centers, if I didn't have, in particular, Beatty Recreation Center or Sawyer Recreation Center, you know, I probably wouldn't be alive. You know, I probably would be a part of what people are seeing today. Everyday killings, every day, all over the city. Somebody died. I probably would have been a part of that, but I had an outlet.
Yeah.
You know, and I chose that outlet. I had the rec centers. I went there. I started boxing, and the rec center gave us even more than boxing. The rec centers gave us a place, a safe haven, a place to go where we didn't have to worry about ducking bullets and gang activity. You know, that they didn't bring that to the rec centers.
Now, is there somebody there that stands out in your mind that caught you as a young wild man and said, "Hey, let's do this together"?
Yes, it did. I was outside playing basketball one day at Beatty Recreation Center, and me and one of my friends, he moved. He lives out of town now, but his name was Charles Mitchell. We call him Cool. And me and Cool got in an argument on the basketball court, and we started fighting. And Ed Williams was the boxing coach at Beatty Recreation Center back then. He came out, grabbed us.
Great Ed Williams.
Yeah, the great Ed Williams, that's for sure. My second father.
Sure.
He came out, broke us up, and said, "Y'all want to do this? Y'all come inside, and we'll put some gloves on." I said, "I'm not putting no gloves on." He said, "Well, you gonna have to leave the rec center and don't come back here." You know. So then Cool said, "What's wrong, man? You scared?" I said, "Let's go." So that's the start of it.
Wow.
I said, "Let's go," because I didn't know the word. I didn't know the meaning of scared. You know, coming from Bolivar's, I didn't know that word. So I said, "Let's go." So we went inside, and we boxed with the gloves on, and naturally we both got tired in about a minute after having them heavy gloves on, and we both decided, okay, we'll call this a draw.
Yeah.
And Mr. Williams said, he said he really saw something in me. He said, you know, you don't need to be out here fighting in the streets and doing these things. He said, come to the gym, man. So I said, okay.
And so that's when the love affair started.
That's kind of when the love affair started.
Where did that take you? Went from that, from you putting on those gloves, what came over what followed after that?
Well, I was still embedded into what we were doing about, you know, in the street life kind of, and I wasn't really ready. But I liked basketball, so I played basketball more. So I was 13 when this fight started. It was all the way up until I was 16 years old that I was in the gym playing basketball at Beatty Recreation Center, and Mr. Williams saw me.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, young man." They called me over. I said, "Oh man." He said, "Where you been?" I said, "Well, you know what?" After he busted me in the gym, I said, "You know what? I'm coming back." And then I came back. Then I got started, and I began to really like it. I had a cousin that was really good in boxing. His name was Adolphus Johnson.
I heard of it.
And Adolphus was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. So that encouraged me too.
Okay.
To go to the gym and stick with the gym.
Yeah.
And then that started boxing legacy that I've created.
Now, what kind of doors would you say boxing has opened up for you as far as traveling or some of the things
if it weren't for boxing, I wouldn't have seen the world. Started when I was a kid and ended up fighting for the national Golden Glove title. Well, I won a bunch of Golden Glove titles.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to the national level. I won two national Golden Gloves. Okay. And that kind of propelled me to the pro scene.
Okay.
You know, and after I turned pro, I just excelled till I had two title fights, and I just excelled and had a pretty good career in boxing. Mm-hmm. And then I came home, and first when I came home, I couldn't find a job, because I said, I want to start get myself together as far as start a family and do the things that I missed out on as a young man, as a real young man. So I said, so anyhow, I ended up getting a job after I talked to some people in the mayor's office. They helped me. Okay. Actually started the recreation and parks back in 1986 over at Barrick Recreation Center. Okay, that's on the south side, right? Yeah. South side of Columbus. Yeah. Okay, shout out to Barrick. So I just, I just started mentoring kids. Yeah. They had a coach. They had a boxing coach. So I would peep in every now and then and see, they say something to them. I didn't want to interfere with what they already had over there. Yeah. But my main goal was to become a boxing coach. So, but I didn't pursue it. I go in and help the coach every now and then, but my thing was just mentoring kids. So I had good basketball team, boxing. Football team. Had a lot of things going with just the kids. Yeah. And then eventually that boxing coach left, and I took over boxing as well. So I guess the question I would ask would be, when you came into that arena, was there a budget for it? Did you have a van? Was there none of that. There was no budget ever for when you started? None of that. I think they had they probably had a general fund for recreation. So a lot of your time and money went into that. A lot of your personal. Wow. A lot of my time and money went in there. I brought a van. I had a family van because at this particular time I had a small family. Yeah. So I had a family van and went over almost 200,000 miles. Yeah. Using my own van and stuff, and spent a lot of money, but it was worth it because I was seeing the kids, to see that smile on the kid's face, and to see that happiness that evolved around winning. Yeah. Little trophies. It was all worth it. Now I'm going to say a few names. I'm just going to throw some stuff out there at you. And whatever comes to mind, I just want you to say. But I want you to equate it to your career, your pro career, and just you personally. Okay. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was one of my, when I was fighting as a kid, he was one of my idols. So he was a great influence on my boxing. Okay. And to shoot way past in the future, I ended up having Muhammad Ali's trainer, Angelo Dundee. Wow. He ended up being my trainer. Your cut man in your corner. Well, he's my trainer. Wow. So I had two trainers from Detroit, Michigan as well. They were the main trainers, but just to have Angelo Dundee in my corner was a dream that came true because, I always seen Muhammad Ali, Angelo Dundee. They did some great things. Yeah. What was that push like, or was there anything that he said to you that you might want to let other fighters know? Or well, when I first met Angelo Dundee, I went to his office, and on his office, his wall, he got a line of all his champions. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, everybody. Yeah. All the champions that he's ever had, he was on his wall. And he had a space with no champion, no picture, nothing, just a space. Yeah. So I said, what's that space? He said, oh, that's for you. And that just blew my mind, Yeah. That just blew my mind. This was before I got any title fight. That just blew my mind. I said, wow. What was it like? Describe to me the feeling of when you got your first title fight, like the preparation and the mental aspect. Well, all the things that that I went through. First of all, the reason I took the fight was it was short notice. I only had 3 weeks to train for Matthew Saad Muhammad. Yeah, he was one of the baddest guys on the planet at that time.
Yeah.
And I only had 3 weeks to train. They asked me did I want to fight. I said, I have to take this fight. I said, when am I going to have another chance?
Yeah.
You know? And so I started training for 3 weeks, as hard as I could. And I got in the best shape I could. I went down to Miami, Florida, got in the best shape that I could get in for 3 weeks of training. And if the fight would have been 10 rounds, even if the fight would have been 12 rounds, I'd have won easy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a 15-round fight.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have time to get in shape for 15 rounds. And after the 9th round, I went to the corner. I said, what round is it, Andrew? He said, the 9th. So I can't do 6 more, I'm sorry.
Now at your height, how tall are you?
6'4".
6'4". And then when you fought, what weight did you fight at?
170.
What were some of the advantages and disadvantages you had at that height?
Well, I had the best jab in the business, to be honest with you. My left hand was tremendously accurate because I'm left-handed.
Yeah. Okay.
And when I first went to the gym, the first thing Mr. Williams told me was, I'm gonna turn you around. And I said, man, I said, I don't feel right that way. He said, well, I'm gonna tell you why, because when you turn pro, it's gonna be hard to get you fights if you're left-handed. People don't like to fight left-handed. He said, we're gonna make this left-handed machine. And that's what we did. You know, he turned me around, and my left hand, which is, you know, I'm left-handed. I had the best left hand.
Now explain turn me around to the audience. That mean not
when you're
southpaw?
when you're left-handed, you're supposed to fight unorthodox softball.
Okay.
And Mr. Williams turned me around and made me orthodox, leading with my left hand and creating strength in my right hand.
Okay.
So he after training so much on the orthodox side, my right hand became really powerful.
Yeah.
But this still was my best arm.
Yeah.
It still was my best hand. So now I got this right hand that I was knocking people out with, and leading, orchestrating the whole thing with my best hand, my left hand. So it was a double-edged sword that worked out really perfect for me my whole career.
Now after the Muhammad fight, how long was it between the Muhammad fight before you fought Spinks?
Made history there.
That was Michael Spinks, right?
Right, Michael Spinks.
All right.
Made history there because I fought Matthew Saad Muhammad on February 28th, 1981.
81.
Then Angelo, with the magic he used, got me another shot with Michael Spinks in November of the same year. So, I don't know.
Now, for anybody who's up and coming in the Columbus area or anybody who was to work with you, explain how a management or a contract situation might work out. Is that something you look at? Is that something you hand over?
One of the things I always done was concentrated on training fighters. Not trying to be a manager or any of that.
Okay.
But I always surround myself with good people. And in the boxing industry, I know just about everybody.
Okay.
And so I'll train a fighter, and I try to put them in the good hands with. They got a local promoter around here named Troy Speakman.
Troy Speakman?
Troy Speakman.
Okay.
A guy that I trust very well, and Junior Wilder, the guy, he's one of my fighters. Okay. And he turned matchmaker and promoter. And really good guy, really, and knows everybody in the boxing business. For some reason, the fighters in Columbus don't trust him. I don't know if it's because he's a sheriff, deputy sheriff, or is it because they're a white man.
Yeah.
So a lot of them don't trust him, and I tell them, don't trust him, trust me.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to trust him, trust me.
Yeah.
And that worked with some of my fighters, but a lot of them don't. So,
do you see that is there a from when you train all the way to the 90s to now, what do you notice different in the younger guys? Are they still enthusiastic about putting in the work?
Actually, in the later years, what's happening with the youngsters is, for some reason, cultures follow cultures, and it's, I don't like it. I don't get it. But cultures follow cultures. You see a bunch of guys walking down the street, pants sagging. Now with the long braids, they were followers.
Yeah.
Most of the fighters that I've ever had, I've always taught them not to be a follower. I said, everybody's sagging their pants. I said, I won't know you from that guy because all y'all, your pants are sagging and you got long hair. The same thing. I said,
yeah.
I mean, you got a bunch of twins running around. But what are y'all doing?
Right.
So
you're looking for leaders.
Yeah, and I try to tell the guys, I say, be your own man. Be a leader. And not be a follower. And the ones that didn't, the ones that didn't. I'm gonna give you an example. I had a kid named Felix Stewart. I got him on the board up here, on the wall.
Shout out Felix Stewart.
He won a national championship in 2000, I think it was one.
Okay.
And Felix was always his own guy. And even though he would still hang out with people that he should have been hanging around with, but he was still his own guy. And I would tell Felix, and I told him that when he was 8, I have since he was 9 years old. I used to tell him that all the time, be your own man, be your own guy.
Yeah.
And he always was. Getting in trouble, he kept getting in trouble every now and then running with the wrong crowd. Finally, in 2001, he decided, okay, coach, I'm dedicating myself. He dedicated himself and ended up on the wall. Ended up on the wall with a championship belt around.
Shout out Felix Stewart, man.
And he could have did more. He got older, started having kids, and but he's still doing really well.
That's right.
He's still doing really well.
Turned a young man some positive.
Yeah, everybody in the town knows Steve.
How many young lives do you think you've touched? And how long have you been since you came back to Columbus when you decided to settle down and stop boxing? How long have you been doing this? How many lives have you touched?
You know what?
Is there a number?
I can give it to you. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But it's sad to say that you try to balance it on a scale of the ones that listen and did okay and still doing okay, and the ones that didn't listen and went to prison and got killed and all that. So it's hard to balance it on a scale, but wow. I've trained fighters. I've trained their sons. I've trained their sons.
Yeah.
I've trained their sons. So it's generations. It's generations of people that I've dealt with since I came back to Columbus, and I got some great success stories, and I have just as many unsuccessful stories of people that had talent, and people that had a chance to do something really great with their lives, end up doing a lot of time in prison or got killed. And it balances itself off. That's why I keep doing it. That's why I keep doing it, because to try to keep the balance. Because I'm telling you, if I had stopped any time, if I had stopped say 10 years ago, it wouldn't be no balance.
It'll be out of control.
It'll be out of control for the kids that I've known. Yeah, for the kids that I've known, it'll be out of control. But I keep it pretty balanced as best I can.
Okay, I'll throw some more names out here. We are, what's the name of the rec center we're at? We're at Lula Pearl Douglas,
Lula Pearl
right?
Rec Center.
Now, who is Lula Pearl?
Lula Pearl is Buster Douglas's mom, and she died right before Buster had his championship fight with Tyson, and I told everybody, and I was one of the ones that predicted it, that Tyson was going to win the fight. I mean, Buster was going to win the fight.
Yeah.
I said because he had that, his mom had just died, and that's that inner strength that he got from that. You know, that he felt he needed to do that for his mom. After the fight, you see him kiss up in the sky. He was kissing his mom.
Yeah, real emotional.
And so, that's what Lula Pearl is.
I watched the interview on Buster, and he said he felt like after he won the title, he just said all hell broke loose. It was like lawsuits after lawsuits, then mourning the death of his mom.
Well, people.
So I guess something had to do with the sanctioning of the fight in another country.
When you win a world championship, that's why. Well, I won't go into that why I didn't win, but if you win a world championship, then you got targeted, and all kind of people gonna come after you trying to find a way to dig into some of that money that you got.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what they were doing with Buster. But they can't take one thing they can't do. They can't take the fact that he beat Mike Tyson.
They can't take it from him.
That will last forever.
Now, you were a light heavyweight, right?
Yes.
So were you ever? Is he your era, or were you a little before him, or?
No, he was. We was in a different era.
Different era.
I was in the era right up under his father,
Okay.
Bill Douglas.
Okay.
Bill, man, he was.
So you kind of paved the way for that Columbus recognition. And,
Yeah.
You know.
Somewhat. Like I said, Buster's father was he was a monster.
Yeah.
And then I would say that. Then Buster really opened everything up when he fought Tyson. So.
Okay, I'll throw another name at you. Let's see. Logan Paul. How do you feel about the internet sensations entering boxing?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't get into a lot of that.
Okay.
The internet boxing or the MMA and all that. I'm strictly. I've trained fighters from the MMA.
Okay.
Mark Coleman played for Ohio State, I think.
Yeah, shout out Mark Coleman.
And he won some title. I trained him. He was in the MMA.
So was he transitioning to boxing, or he just wanted to tighten up on his boxing skills?
He just wanted boxing skills.
Okay.
Because of what he was doing, the wrestling and the grappling and all that stuff. So
yeah.
I work with him. I work with some MMA fighters, but I don't really get into that. It's just not my thing. And this Paul, I couldn't tell you a whole lot about him.
What about Don King? I know fighting in the 80s and fighting in the late 70s and stuff. Did you ever cross paths with him?
Oh, all the time. I got pictures. we cross paths a lot.
Yeah. Good and bad, or what?
I was all good with me because I didn't fight for him, so I didn't have to worry.
I don't think nobody fought for him.
I didn't have to worry about them stealing, robbing me, and all that. We've always had a good relationship, and as a matter of fact, Carl, his son, called me and asked me did I want to train a fighter. So he asked me when I come and work with Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was married and, had a family and I was working, working 2 jobs like I'm doing now, same thing.
Yeah.
Here in the library and want me to just drop everything and just come to a training camp and train Tyson and some of his other fighters. And I said, put me $1 million in escrow, and then I'll leave my job and I'll come up there and I'll try to make this thing work with training fighters for you.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard no more from him.
So you already been a smart man. You kind of want to protect your
Well, I know he wasn't gonna put $1 million in escrow. I already do that. But
yeah.
If he did, I did what I said. But I know he wasn't gonna do it. But I wasn't just gonna go up there and just train fighters because he's Mike Tyson or he's whoever he is.
Yeah.
you know, and take a chance. Because first of all, you don't make that. You make some money, but you don't make enough to secure your family and your life, you know. And so, no.
Name to me some of the great Ohio boxers that you remember that you sparred with, or.
Well, it's so many. It's so many. Wow. Thurman Holiday, Buster's dad, Bill Douglas, you know, and I'm just a kid, you know, 20, 21 years old, and I want to spar with Bill, Buster's dad, and he don't lighten up on nobody. You know, I'm only light heavyweight, and at that time Bill was he was around light heavyweight too, but he fought middleweight most of the time, but he was light heavyweight too. But anyway, he didn't care how young you was, how inexperienced you was. He just coming, you know. So but I sparred with you know, I sparred with Buster.
Okay.
Not hard, just messing around.
Yeah.
But it's so many, man. It's so many good fighters that's not with us now that I sparred with, that helped me pay the way to where I went in boxing. Had a guy named Jerry Smith. Wow. I hate to go to the gym. I know he's gonna be there. He right there. Say Jerry, he waiting.
He want to work with you.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I think you had that championship pedigree.
Yeah.
And,
well, you know
when
what?
I looked at you fight, you reminded me of like a Lennox Lewis, or just a non-conventional fighter. Is there any comparisons that you have been compared to, past, present, or future?
Most of the time, everybody compared me to Bob Foster.
Bob Foster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Light heavyweight champion, and because we was about the same size.
Okay.
And fought similar, but not really. But a lot of people compared me to Bob Foster. Even Howard Cosell compared me to Bob Foster.
The great Howard Cosell. Now you had a fight where Howard Cosell kind of did some commentary on, right?
Yeah, he did a commentary on my when I won the National Golden Gloves in Denver, Colorado in 1974. He was the commentator.
Yeah, he was really impressed by you from what I've seen.
Yes, he was saying a lot of things that really made me proud.
Looks like another big, tall drink of water, as we say, and that's, of course,
Long ass arm.
Probably my tall drinking water.
Woo! Hold on. Don't blink.
Jackson goes down, rubber knee. Rubber knee, he was hurt, believe you me.
He said rubber knee.
He said, believe you me.
Vonzell knocking down Jackson in the light.
That's why it's so special, because this is Howard Cosell.
Yeah, that's
For sure.
Howard Cosell talking about this.
Gunmen work. Using that long reach effectively, throwing a stinging jab. Comes off with
They
the
be
right
on the
hand.
other side of the ring. Vonzell's arm can reach him.
What's your mindset here?
Just to totally dominate, or
Just,
because you look really confident, like you're real active.
Miss Williams had a plan.
Badly hurt.
Yeah.
Kill effect.
Knockdown, one of the safest moves ever put in the boxing book. 8 seconds for the referee to decide whether the man recovers.
Did you know this guy? Watch any film on him going into this fight, or
No, this is like a
wow?
national tournament.
Okay.
Jab to the body, tries to lower his ground. There's the right hand and the left hook. Charles State taking the bad beating.
That jab is nice.
Vonzell Johnson doing with the left hand. Beautiful jab.
Getting anything you want.
It's from across the ring.
You hear Howard Cosell, beautiful jab.
Yeah.
Classic style.
Great action in this round. Watch the scintillating combination.
Simulate.
Jackson, the left hook to the chin.
Oh.
There's a beautiful short left hook, and that hurts Sorrow.
Woo.
Now he steps back,
Woo.
holds on,
Right hand short. Now watch this classic jab. This is the leadoff punch, and it's beautiful.
That's a classic jab.
Ray Collins, he's the coach, looking at Searles, trying to bring him around. He had a very rough second round.
Stabbing him, jabs in there like he was in prison.
At this point. Searles has been shaken up several times in the second round, and if Searles is to do anything, he must come on strong. He's against the boxing master, Vonzell Johnson.
Boxing master.
Showing what a great
Oh,
left
yeah.
hand.
Oh,
And there's
yeah.
a classic 1-2. Left jab, followed by a right hand. A blinding left jab.
Blinding left hand.
Johnny Radisson, St. Louis, the referee, moves gracefully, stays between the boxers. Position is everything in boxing. Always looking between the two men. Vonzell has the lead. I don't think he'll take many chances. He'll just use that left hand and pick his spots. There it goes in there again, right on time. Building up a tremendous lead. There it goes again. There goes that right hand. Sounds that I say right now, Searles is in very big trouble. Madison is looking at
You
him.
can smell it.
That's that Mamba mentality. Smelling that blood, baby.
At that time, Howard Cosell was the pinnacle of announcers and commentators. And,
Yeah.
you know, him and Ali, they made history. And so for him to be commentating my fight and saying the things that he was saying about me, to this day, I'm grateful for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there, what are some of the highest moments that you've experienced in boxing and in life? And for anybody who, I consider you the champ. Now, how hard is it just to get a title fight? You had 2 title fights. How hard is it just to get yourself mentally and to go through that division at that time? And then to come from, like, I mean, you had a lot of Golden Glove success, but the amateur success, but did you feel like you were known? Did you feel like you were the underdog all the time, or what was that like?
Actually, people knew me.
Okay.
You know, surprisingly, when I would go to those championship fights, a lot of people knew me. So I felt, you know, I came. Listen, me and the people and the other people that surrounded me, we all come from a place that was a city within a city, and that place was Ball of Arms, and it's a thing that you could probably say now, like everybody is saying, this strong, that strong. You can say Ball of Arms strong, because anybody that came out of Ball of Arms, first of all, most of them, not all of them, most of them had wit. Most of them knew what it takes to survive. You know, most of them could fight. And most of them, so we just came out of that. In a lot of places all over the country, some of the same boxers have the same story.
Yeah.
It's where they came from, and I'm proud to say, and I would do it all over again, that I came through Ball of Arms.
Absolutely.
And that kind of, you know, that gave me the foundation.
Yeah.
You got to have a foundation, you know. So I already had a foundation. I just had to build on it.
Now, there has been, you know, we live in an era now where the super flyweights, and they're getting the pay-per-view fights, bantamweights, and these guys. You came up in a time where you had to
be a
have that hard punch.
You had to be a heavyweight.
Fight wasn't gonna last long. I mean, behemoths, big guys.
Yeah.
What is that like, and how does that go into like fighters that come to you? Are they smaller now? Are you getting big guys now?
I still get all kinds of fighters, but back then, the heavyweight champion was the ruler of boxing, bar none. Heavyweight champion. You was heavyweight champion, you was the man. Boxing has declined, very much declined, and you have the welterweights, Floyd Mayweather's, the middleweights. What's going on now? The super lightweights like Crawford and triple. You got all these guys now. You got all these guys now that couldn't hold a candle to nobody from that era. Nobody.
Wow.
And it's just but just like in any other sport, it's eras.
Yeah.
And in the era we're in now, it's nothing to compare to the era that I came through. The era that I came through, nothing could compare to the one before me.
Yeah.
The Joe Lewis's and all that. So it's just different eras. And what's happening now is the middleweights and the welterweights are dominating the fight now.
It's a different
world.
different
It's a
breed.
different era, yes.
I like Gervonta Davis too.
Yes, it's a different era. Those guys, those same guys.
Now let's talk about your camp. Let's talk about some of your guys. You got a guy here that's looking pretty good. You got
I had a nice little crew. Trying to hold them, trying to keep them steady, trying to hold them. It's hard. It's hard when you're not around them. It's very hard to try to keep tabs on them.
Can you throw a couple names out there? I mean, maybe they'll see this and log in a little more.
It's so many. Cody Crane. I got two Mexican twins, Edgar and Eduardo Dominguez. Number one, they really high in amateur rankings.
Okay.
EJ Reed, he turned pro. He's probably like heavyweight now. Wow, got this little guy. He's I don't know how old he is now. It's been a while since he's been in the gym, but he's really Nate Davis. He's really a tough kid.
Nate Davis.
Yeah, and then we got. So it's just so many, man. It's hard to name.
Now, this being 2021, if I don't know how the year's gonna go with the pandemic, what is there something that you want to do, or something that this pandemic has made you think about, a resurgence or a showcase, or?
Yeah. What I would like to do is
going into 2021 with the pandemic and a lot of different things going on in the world today. What can we expect from you, or is there anything that you've been thinking about, initiatives or efforts, maybe even a showcase, anything you want to do?
Really?
Yeah. First of all, we have to get we got to get a handle on the violence in this city. And the reason I say that is, the majority of the homicides, I think it was 174, which set a new record for 2020. It's mostly black on black crime, black on black homicides. And we have to get I don't condone no homicides, no violence, and I don't care if it's black, white, or whatever. But these homicides are mainly young men and women, young, under 30, is dying and have died. We've lost 170 some of them, and it's starting out that way again in 2021. We've already got 5 or 6, so
yeah,
we gotta get a handle on this. And I'm willing to do anything and everything to help the mayor and all the city leaders. I'm willing to do anything I can to help curtail this violence. It has to stop. It must stop. We gotta put a halt on this because black lives really matter. Black people need to realize that if you're killing yourselves, you're killing yourself. The same people that you see walking downtown, protesting, hands up in the air, are the same people that's killing a black man. Blacks are killing blacks, and it has to stop. It has to stop. It's just, I've lost people. I've lost young people in my family to this violence, and it's something that needs to be done. And like I said, I'll do anything to help. I'm not just asking for help. I'm not asking all the leaders, all the leaders of the city to try to do this alone. I say anything they need me to do, I'll do it.
Are you willing to be the face of it?
Most definitely.
Are you willing to speak?
I sure will.
And will you stand out there? Will you stand out there on the front lines, because this is big. This is a mass proportion.
I will be the first one on the front lines, because one of the things that really bothers me is you see these people downtown, like I said, protesting Black Lives Matter, and they're killing each other. Blacks, you know, I don't condone bad police officers where they kill black. I understand that, and I don't downplay that, because all police officers are not bad. There are bad ones, but all of them are not. And that 174 homicides that I'm talking about, no police officers kill these black kids, these black people. Black people kill these blacks. So, you know, we have to get a hold on this, and whatever it takes for us to do this, we need to do this.
Is it natural? I mean, you say you guys started in boxing because there was an individual you couldn't get along with. Is it natural to have beef? And is boxing or a fight club or some type of athletic intervention, or maybe just an OG just coming to the young guys and saying, hey, let's sit down and talk about this before this escalates? Is it natural just to be a young man or in the inner city, or young woman in the inner city, and just have a problem? And does that have to lead to a killing, or can we get a mediation to say? How would we set up a mediation?
This is something that you know, that they did in California when the gangs was out of control, and it seemed to work. You know, they would get gang leaders. They had a mediator. Jim Brown was a mediator at one time. So we just need to find a solution, find a way to get into these young kids' mind and let them know that there's another avenue that they can take. It's another direction they can go. It's got to be programmed. It's got to be recreation. It has to be something positive for these kids to do and these young people to do. You know, have to be, because what it is, and I know the pandemic has a lot to do with this, because everybody was, you know, bundled. But we have to find something. We have to find something to do. And I'm begging the mayor and the city leaders to come up with something. And I would be willing to help come up with that something to stop this violence.
And I think the last question I want to ask you, Mr. Vonzell Johnson, how do you want to be remembered? What will your legacy be?
Well, I want people to remember me as being, you know, I haven't, first of all, let me say this. I haven't always been the guy that I am, but I've had people in my life to help me become the guy that I am. Like the Ed Williams at the rec centers, the Doc Simpsons, I mean, I can go on and on naming people, and anybody that I don't name, you know who you are. I have a lot of people in my life that show me that there's a better way to do things, and I changed my life around, and then I decided to do that same thing, mentor, and try to help young people in this community. And I've been successful, and I failed, you know. But I'll continue this fight, you know, until I'm not breathing again, to try to help someone go where they really need to go in life.
All right, a big man of big stature, a role model philanthropist, boxing coach, former champion, Mr. Vonzell Johnson. Thank you for your time.
My man.